show us something we haven't seen before. Alrighty. 28mm RPG here. And we're going to show you something you haven't seen yet. At least on my channel. See this big stack of stuff here? Yeah. I guess I should finally show this stuff off. Okay. So, I've had this for a while. Actually, I backed the Kickstarter. I originally got this and I think I have like 3. Yeah, I think I had like 3 of these. And then my game store in town here had a couple more. So, ended up picking them up because, just can't stop collecting this crap. So, anyways, Bloodbourne comes in a super huge box. And if you played it on a PlayStation, well, cool. I've never played on a PlayStation, but I've seen some people playing it on YouTube. I thought it was a pretty neat idea, and I've heard a lot of good things about the game itself. So this is for all you guys that like board games. Like me, I like board games. I'm not too shy away from board games every once in a while. So this will be cool because I'll be able to play it on this big board here, on the table. Open it up. Ooh, smells fresh, I tell you. Alrighty, it gives you the board game rules here. We got that nice rule book. Not a very huge rule book. Pretty. It's got some artwork on the back as well. And not sure if this will even help anybody out there, but there you go. There's some of the what to expect on the inside. So apparently you get to play these hunters that are hunting down the monsters in this game. So, ooh. This is so fresh. None of it's been punched or anything. It's all brand new. Oops, some of these are ready to fall right off of the cardboard. Really nice. Wow, I don't even think I can bring this out. Yeah, it's like falling right out of. It's very easy to punch this stuff out, apparently. So yeah, even more stuff. So more areas. These are cool tiles. They're double-sided, so you have a basically randomly pick stuff. By the looks of it, I have no idea 100%. I have not played the game yet, so and yeah, so that's part of the cardboard. Then we have a sheet here showing the enemy and all your placement for the cards. So it looks like it's got a good little interface for you to use as well. Okay, so that is that. Then we get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. The actual miniatures. So, see how easy this is going to be to break out of here. I think I may have to flip this guy upside down and let it slide out. Slide it in right to the top. Let's see. Will we be able to get this out of here? Is my question. God, there's such a huge little box in here. Oh, there's like 2 boxes in here. Oh, there's stuff underneath here too. My goodness. almost tragedy there. So we got the hunter dashboards here. So these are to set up your characters. Okay, that was all in there. And we got the hunter character sheets, I guess, that you set up your characters with. It comes with tons of cards. More cards than you can shake a stick at. Alright, so it's all the cards. Cards, more cards. It's got places to put all your stuff. Awesome. That has to be done more often with games. Making it able to put back into storage easily. So that is cool. Let's get this cleaned up a bit here. So throw everything back in. It's pretty cool. And with all the add-ons too, boy oh boy. So I wonder if this game is going to have the mortality rate of all the rest of the Dark Souls series as well. We'll find out. We will find out soon enough. But I never play a game unless it's fully painted. So what do we need to paint? So for the base kit here, let's see. Let us figure out how to open up this box. There we go. Side openings here. Whew. Yikers. All right. So you get basically 2 trays here of characters and stuff. So this is showing a lot of the miniatures, just a cursory glance. You've got this is a kind of a cover on top of the next part, which has all your enemies on it. So cool. Sometimes, that's the thing about the bases here. I would prefer to fill those in. So I'll probably do something like, put in the milliput underneath there and make them all nice and even on the bottom. But so you get your gangs of villagers, apparently. So there we go. So these guys, get a whole bunch of them. I'm only going to pull out one of each so you can see what they look like. So crazy villagers. We got your hounds of some form. I can't remember what they were called, but you can probably say what they are in the comments section. So you say they're totally unpainted, and as is. Dudes with the hats and the lanterns. Okay. Well, we got more crazy monsters here. Probably bringing back some bad memories for a lot of people out there that have played this game. Should I put everything back, so to speak? Next. Very cool. These are neat, decent sculpts, man. Like, a little bit of prep will be need to fill them out and stuff, but not bad at all. I mean, that's pretty cool. And so one of the big baddies here. You get like 4 of these guys. Like I say, I haven't played this game, and looks like it'd do a lot of maybe stylized painting with these. A lot of muted colors. Like I'll probably go with some. Let's see. I don't know. Probably a dark like sienna. For the shadows. So what it'll probably do is like spray all these guys with the primer, the gray primer, and then go ahead and use a like I say, a dark sienna, dark brown, really dark brown, and then use a like a kind of muted tan beige kind of color to give it highlights, and then paint in a muted, how would you say, like I would probably use a lot of watered down colors, and so that the dark sienna and the beige would be more you could see through that. So I think that would be my idea of painting these guys, and that way it doesn't take me forever to paint all of them, but still make them really kind of pastelish, you know. Like, we're not going totally vivid colors here with these guys. We want it to be kind of reminiscent of the nightmare aesthetic of the game. So we'll do that. So I'll pull this guy back in here. And I don't know, did I show you this one? I'm not sure, but this one's pretty cool. Apparently horn-headed and kind of mammalian and humanoid mammalian kind of thing. That's pretty whack. But yeah, there's a lot of detail on these miniatures. They're very well made. I'm quite impressed with the look of these. Like, this is like up there with the well, you know, out of all of Simon's stuff, these are pretty nice, you know. And I have their, you know, the Zombicide stuff as well. Not a whole lot of Zombicide. I went with Invader because I like sci-fi themes. So I have that one, which is more, I like it. I would prefer it better than just like zombies, you know. That's what I mean. I prefer a sci-fi game more than a zombie game, and it kind of itches that scratch. Now this is the big baddie, I guess, in the entire thing, and yeah, pretty massive miniature. Once again, yeah, probably a lot of muted colors on it, but you know, give it some good highlighting on where you need it, you know, to kind of show off some of the character features a little bit more. And I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen any of my older videos. I'll pop up this grab this Zombicide picture here just to show you like some of my methods of painting. I'll break out the big baddie in this one just to give you an idea of how I tend to paint a lot of stuff. So here we go. So we have this one here. You can see that we've got the details of the tentacles and stuff like that, and all the muscle. The muscles have been highlighted and everything. So it looks really cool with a few of the crazy looking flutes coming off of its body there. And that's usually how I paint my stuff, especially for these bigger board games. I don't go too crazy on them, but enough to make them look really cool, going with the aesthetic of the actual game. I took all the pictures I could find on these monsters and stuff, and I just simulated what they look like, and that's how I painted them. So expect that kind of a aspect to them. There's a lot of miniatures in here I still have to paint in this game. It's almost all done. Put it back in the box. There we go. On besides a cool game with a cool little interface and stuff in it. Like I say, I still need to finish painting that one too. Alrighty, so that is all the big baddies. There's also some more, baddies here as well. So very cool. I like the poses. That's a cool thing. That is hey, almost looks like a werewolf by the way it looks. And I believe these are our heroes because they are in different colors. Are these 28 millimeter? More like 25 millimeter, I would say. I guess I can't paint them then. Since the name of the channel and everything. So there we go. I mean, they'll still fit into a 28 millimeter miniature game. They'd be just slightly a little smaller than average, but still they look pretty they look pretty good. I'm just wondering if I should do this and just to kind of give this more of a aesthetic instead of you looking at my thing on the strange here. But miniatures aren't too bad. They're not, I mean, they can be they're slightly bent but not horribly bent, so that is not too bad. These guys are going to be really cool to do a lot of dry brushing and stuff on, so definitely looks cool. And then this guy here, there we go. Once again, I'll have to check to see whether or not this is supposed to be bent like that, or if that's something that I have to debend. Looks like, yeah, it's movable anyways. So interesting characters. But yeah, these are your main 4 characters. I have a hunter's box here, so there's more characters. So I'll just have to, when it comes time, pull them out. This character there, this one here. Looks like I got them in the right spot. Okay. So that is the first box. And of course, they give you the colored rings as well, so you can show which one is your character by color instead of guessing. Look, you get free digital content too. So, I mean, there's a lot of painting, but I think I can burst through a lot of it just by doing the muted colored thing instead of going gung-ho vibrant. You know, I mean, you've seen me paint. Sometimes well, what I do is I go over things over and over with very thin coats of paint just to get the right effect, because you layer that paint on bit by bit, and it takes a while, but you get the best effect by doing that. If you're rushing it, and then you're gonna mess it up, and it's not gonna look as good as what it could. So that is the first time that has been opened. So awesome. I did not know what was all inside. I mean, I've seen the contents, but to like actually, handle the components and stuff. So the Chalice Dungeon is part of it, and the Blood Moon, the Blood Moon and the Chalice Dungeon were kind of like part of the whole Kickstarter thing. So we're gonna go open up the Chalice Dungeon. This is probably going to be a fairly long video, but if you're interested in seeing what this game holds, since you can get it now at your game stores, and maybe you've seen this and you wondered, hey, should I get this? I would only get this if you were gonna, I mean, if you're a painter, if you're a mini painter, sure. I would, by the looks of this, I would recommend it. So, I like the miniatures. They look really cool. So, there we go. Chalice Dungeon. Once again, I'm not going to go ahead and fork them out. These are, once again, more rooms and stuff like that. And cardboard. You separate out. Looks like you get a little bit of a different... Okay, you got Hunter versus Hunter stuff. So these are little shields that you put up. And so you can kind of, put this in front of your character and hide your shit. So... little bit of player versus player dynamics going on. So let's pull out the and in this case there's nothing in the box other than this, and we'll see what happens when we open this up, because there are some things that are showing from inside the box here on the window. Pull it out and see what happens here. What have we got? Feels like a double stack of miniatures there. Cool. We ended up losing one along the way. There we go. So, a stack of cards on top. More extra cards, obviously, for the theme of the dungeon itself. So it's got a couple of decks there. The little player boards here. Okay, so you have some more options because you have more hunters as well. So now, I guess we'll pull out the hunters so you can see what they look like. They've got some pretty cool looking weapons and stuff, so that's pretty neat. Oh, what do you guys think? Cool? Meh? Alright. It's a case of how do they go back in to their slots? How do they fit? Where do they go? Okay, just put them in kind of. I guess that works. Some of the creatures here, you get a bunch of these guys, so some sort of a scorpion kind of monster. That's pretty neat. We have pointy-hatted wizards. I don't know the names of them. I am just giving you a description of them as I first see them. So these ones carry a blade, and they look like they're kind of floating with that way that the outfit is on it. It's very interesting kind of way to depict the miniature on the base. That's cool. And these have a mace, so they must be some of the lackeys that you fight against. Because there tends to be a lot of them. There seems to be a lot of these as well. Once again, it has a thing for these dog-like things, so hounds. I hate these things. Like in Elden Ring, man, some of these things are just like, no, don't want to fight that. I want to get away. Some sort of a horned monster as well. That's kind of cool. And now that we've gotten through all the basic kind of bad guys, I guess. Get in here. And wow. There's a couple of these. So you have a couple of these things. That's pretty nuts. If you don't like creepy crawlies with lots of legs, it's going to be your worst nightmare right there. So you have two of these, Mom and Dad. And we'll have somebody here with a couple of whips just to keep everybody in line. And if the whips aren't good, then we'll bring in this guy with the fungi on his back, and with a couple of, like a glaive and a scythe of some form, or hook blade. It's pretty crazy looking. I mean, they have this thing for the draped face on them. Yeah, it's pretty whack. And of course, this character here, I suppose this is something that you don't wish to kill, but you must, probably. So yeah. So yeah, two giant centipede creatures, and these are hefty miniatures, man. Like they're they're not bad at all. Like I'm looking at these and I'm seeing very little stuff that I need to do to make them look pretty. Now, figure out how they go back in like that, and then this one. There we go. Yeah, they have a particular way of going back into the into their slots. Oh yeah, we got these ones as well. Big kind of gator-headed kind of thing, or a crocodile-headed monster dog. Very good texture on there. It's going to be cool to paint this up, with the dry brushing and stuff. And giant rats that you don't really want to take a beef with. And yeah, then we got these things with they have horns on the bottom of their jaws and a lot of really kind of spikes on them as well. So interesting. I'm wondering how I'm going to prepare these bases too. How I'm going to texture them up. I don't think I'm going to leave them bare like they are. I'm going to actually do something in the effect to make them look cool. I might, roll up some balls of milliput and squish them down, make them kind of like cobblestone kind of bases. It'll take a little, more time to do that, but the effect would probably look really cool. So let's put this all back together. That's a lot of miniatures. Holy moly. Wow. It's like, now to get it back into the box. Not to worry, I'm pretty good at it. I can get things in and out of boxes quite bad. There we go. So that is the Chalice Dungeon set. Back in there. Throw these back in there as well. These. And this. Awful lot of cardboard, man. It's crazy. Crazy, I tell you. I thought maybe I just paint the game and then, sell it as a painted set. You can make a lot of money off of that, but I don't know. It looks like a cool game to play, and a lot of people have said a lot of good things about it. So this is the Blood Moon box. It's a little slightly smaller box. And this was part and parcel with the when you bought the your initial Kickstarter. Pretty much most people went with the option of getting the three box set here. And that's what you would start with. Here we go. Once again, we have a box inside with a bunch of cardboard in there. So let's pull that out. Side just empty. So in this case, it's probably got a bunch of cards in here as well. And there we go. And so this time, once again, we got some cards as well. 3 small little decks there, not so huge. And of course, we got the goodies. This is going to be mostly miniature intensive, this one. So let's put up this side here. The quality of these miniatures are crazy. They're crazy awesome. They look really good. Now, if you don't like spiders, I would suggest not looking at this any further. I'll do is flip these over. No, I guess there's 2 different ways, 2 different sides on these. Are they the same? No. Alrighty, so going with the spiders here, and yeah, we got we'll have lots of spiders, that's for sure. May as well pull this guy out now, since you're looking at spiders. It's one big ass spider, I tell ya. They say painting them muted colors should be good with a bit of highlighting. Once again, sienna. That's a really dark brown, kind of similar to you know, the darkness in here. And then with kind of a beigey kind of, you know, I'll take the airbrush and blast some beige over top as highlight, and then go from there with the muted color combos, and yeah, make them look cool. That's the big mini in the entire box. In here, there's a bunch of crazy looking creatures with looks like branches, you know, using a club, or is that fire? Not sure. I'll have to take a look. That is a torch in their hand or what? Very spiky, with the sideways mouth on them, so a bit of nightmare fuel there for you. There's a whole bunch of those. There'll be a whole bunch of these as well. Once again, nightmare fuel. The way that the mouth opens, kind of. That's a really weird kind of creature. Bunch of those, like I said. Otherwise, more guys wielding tools in ways that you would not want to have wielded upon you. Lots of spikes on their vertebrae and stuff. Yeah, pretty whack looking. I do like the poses on some of these. They're pretty cool. Yeah, a couple of these. The Butcher. It's like in Diablo. The Butcher. You got 2 of these guys in there, so yeah. Nasty looking characters. Now the rest of the box here. It might be better for me to show these one at a time. These are some of the, I guess, some of the characters that you would use for playing. So, be these guys. Big giant weapons, like a hammer in the hands. So, once again, a very, Elden Ring kind of feel to a lot of these characters with the monstrous weapons and stuff and they're wielding. Gives you lots of different characters to play as, which is a nice thing. It's not just we're only going to give you 4 characters to play with. No, they give you a good selection of weird looking entities to be your avatar in the game. There's one that has an actual scythe. I'll go become a farmer if this doesn't go well. Become a farmer. And we got 4 of these. I'm not sure what these are for, but I'm sure there's an explanation for it. Now the strange thing is there is no book that comes with this. Might be something that I'm missing in the game or something. Or it's already explained in the main rule book. So don't know until I check that out. And then you have these things here. So I guess these are somewhat of a... there's a whole bunch of them. I think they might have something to do with respawn points or something. Maybe. I'm not sure. What dungeon won't need these if you were actually, playing some D&D with miniatures, right? I mean, I break out the miniatures every once in a while to kind of show placement of characters in certain situations, but I don't use it for my entire game. Like for, general, okay, you're walking down the hallway and blah, blah, blah. No, I'd rather have you theater the mind that. It's just every once in a while you end up in a situation. Where's the giant in accordance to the, the area that it's in? In some cases, you might want to have that in case players have a great idea how they want to approach it tactically without going through all the crazy tactics. Because that, instead of you having to explain it all to them, like as verbally, having it all right there in front of them makes the game go faster that way. So cool, cool stuff in that one. Put it all back in here. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of painting to do. Once again, this kind of feels big like the like my Deep Madness, my set of Deep Madness here beside me. It's like monstrous amounts of miniatures, which I'll probably have to show one of these days as well, with the amount of crazy minis in that one. I would probably rather just, show how the game plays instead, and and have it spread on the board here and play it, and then you can see the miniatures during the game instead. And that would be a little bit better representation. Not many of you guys are, miniature board game enthusiasts, but I'm sure there's a few in our general group, and those who pop in and want to check out some of the board games that I have, will be able to do that. I've got a lot of board games. This is hardly nothing. I got I have, yeah. Plus, you're not seeing the bottom shelf here, which I have the Deep Madness, Gloomhaven, and yeah, it's pretty much all Deep Madness and Gloomhaven. So if you imagine one of these shelves full, and this is like a 3 foot by 3 foot by 1.5 feet deep shelf. It's a fair bit of games in there. So, and then I also have the Defiance, all the Defiance board game in there. All my Arkham Horror. When we're talking the old Arkham Horror, the original sets. Eldritch Horror, Runebound, Pathfinder, the card game. Pathfinder. I got Arkham Horror, the card game up there. I've got Car Wars. I got Cosmic Encounter. I've got King of Tokyo. I got the full set of Firefly. And Resistance, some Steve Jackson games up there, and Sentinels of the Multiverse, which is a card game as well. And then, of course, I have The Walking Dead, which I had started painting. My wife is a big Walking Dead fan, so I picked that up in hopes that maybe we can go ahead and get it all painted up and play a game. And more Arkham Horror here. Lots of alien stuff. Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, Fallout game, and a bunch of other miniature type of materials, like for building areas for skirmish games and stuff like that. So yeah, I do like a couple of the skirmish games out there, but I'm not a huge skirmish gamer. Just enough. I don't want to get into too much skirmish and battle tech. I got a lot of battle tech. And of course the Renegade Legion stuff as well. Which is the reason why I got a lot of the D10s with the actual 10 on it. Because even the role-playing game calls it out as a 10 and not a 0. So this is Hunter's Dream, a little smaller box. Let's see what's in this one. So it gives you a little pamphlet. Gives you an area to kill everybody in. You get some cards. Once again, kind of, not a whole lot, but enough to add that flavor to the game. And this thing with all the miniatures in it, that's going to be about it. So let's see, best way to pull this apart. Sometimes they are stuck together with tape. That's a little bit more challenging to take apart here. There we go. Okay. Should let everything go. Oop. Let's get it over here. I always get kind of overwhelmed when I look at these. I'm going, oh, how much painting do I have to do here? That is kind of a cool miniature, yet not so miniature. That is a cool looking monster in its own right. It's pretty. It's kind of got that ghastly kind of look to it. Like, wow, this thing's nasty. So, anyways, you got a bunch of these guys. A couple of them. A couple of these. And then we got a bunch of critters here that look like hunters as well. And they come in various forms. There's 9 of them in total in different. They actually look like probably bad guy versions of the originals because they all have the same weapons and everything. So I'm not going to pull them out and re-show them to you because they, looking at them, they got the same respective poses. They're probably the bad guy versions of everything. So that's what I would think. Anyway, so let's put this guy back. Top. Hopefully I get some of these games done before I die. That's kind of a goal here. I want to play my games. Can you let me play my games? I'll be like 90 years old on my deathbed. You know that game I have downstairs? I want to play it before I die. You still haven't painted it all, Grandpa? Imagine my grandkids saying that. Yeah, I have grandkids. I have 2 grandkids right now. Maybe more in the future. Who knows? Depends on who gets married and all that stuff, or something. Once again, another smaller box. This one is even a little bit smaller than the Hunter's Dream expansion. This is Mergo's Loft. Once again, kind of the same thing as the last box. Same thing again. Packet of cards. Once again, some cool minis. A bunch of these guys. They kind of look like jesters. And they look like they're going to give you a beating with a whipping stick. And you got a bunch of these, 4 of those. Very good detail and texturing on these. These are going to be awesome. Like picking them up, they just feel so cool. That's the neat thing about these miniatures, is a lot of texture, a lot of details in these things. They're actually really well put together. I haven't seen one that looks like somebody just glued it all together and just slapped it into the box. These actually look pretty darn good. Like somebody took the time to put them all together properly. Let's see if I can get this guy in there properly. There. Would help if I put it in the right way. And that one wasn't too big of a, that was good. I don't want too much to do, right? Final box is the Forsaken Cainhurst Castle. The nemesis of many players out there of Bloodbourne. I believe this should give us some cool extras. Nice box though, very, very cool. Cool looking castle in the Frozen. Once again, we have more cardboard, 3 sheets of that. And not as many miniatures as I would have thought. Lots of cards though. So much cards and some spaced out miniatures in there, so it's not crazy amounts of them that would go, when am I ever going to get these painted? You guys actually want to see me paint this like live? Let me know. I mean, I could always paint it and then show it to you, but if you guys want to see me paint this stuff live, I can always do that. Mind you, probably only be able to paint this stuff on, you know, Monday and Wednesdays. Mondays and Wednesdays are my days off, so that's when I usually have time to do stuff like what you're seeing here, where I can show you different games that I've been working on. And yeah, I don't have to rush to get stuff done. I've got some cool minis in this one, more of kind of like some gargoyle-y kind of creatures. You get 4 of those. Once again, things with, you know, it has this thing with cloths, like a cloth being draped across the face. It's the only thing that these things wear, a big thing across your face. That's it. They're otherwise naked. They always have a cold face. Maybe that's it. Got some of these, a bunch of these. Once again, these maiden-like gals with a blade. Got a couple of these. These guys look pretty neat. Very detailed. A nice pose and everything. I think that's an awesome pose. And yeah, lots of details on those. Got 4 of these. Creatures with a candelabra and a kind of a hammer. So, and they look kind of gimped. So that's somebody on a throne. They say I haven't seen all the stuff on Bloodbourne, so no idea what this character is called. And final, one big baddie here as well. So one of the 2 bosses. One's on a throne and one's just standing and looking like you shouldn't approach. Very cool though. I do like the weapons and stuff. They're very unique. Very unique miniatures. And that is the last of it. So yeah, I suspect a lot of this information will be in the actual Bloodbourne board game book, because there's no extra pamphlets in here or anything. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you be willing to fork out the bucks nowadays to pick up this game? It's a pretty hefty price now. Because yeah, when you got it on the Kickstarter, it wasn't a bad price at all. It was, I mean, it would give you this, the Chalice Dungeon, and the Blood Moon. And then, like I said, the other 3 I got extras, smaller sets, but you know, the cost of them ends up adding up pretty fast. So, especially with Canadian Monopoly money nowadays. But the best deal was getting this on the Kickstarter, and then you know, going from there. Certainly, yeah, I could have bought the whole thing, but that was just way too much at the time, and I kind of would rather just spread out the cost later on, and also help out the local game store as well. So But I think, yeah, probably I'll have to take a picture of this and make sure, you know, there might be one more thing that they have there that I don't have. So, not really wanting to go pick it up now or anything like that, but seeing the coolness of the miniatures and stuff would definitely prompt me to go ahead and finish my collection a little bit more. So, you know, what do you think this would be worth if it was entirely painted? Kind of like the way that I painted the my Zombicide. If I had painted the whole thing, put it all back together, and then put it on the internet for sale, what would somebody pay for this? It's just like, because that's a lot of hours right there of painting, like a lot of hours. Usually I can get through them pretty fast, especially box, like these box sets. Like my Deep Madness, most of the in Deep Madness, all the miniatures that I spent most of the time on were the character miniatures, so the ones that would be the players, and that alone was at least, I don't know, 30 different characters, and that's a lot. It's a lot of playability. They all have unique things, so and. So there's a lot of playability with the characters. You can always have a variation. Everybody picks their favorite, and you know, goes through the situation of the underwater lab falling apart. You know, but in this, same thing. A lot of variation. You've got yourself a boatload of player options. So if you don't like a particular style of one, you can pick another and go with that. Just the aesthetics alone, really nice. So we'll see how this goes. But just getting the characters done, I think I spent like 2-3 weeks on that, and that was me constantly painting every day, at least 4 hours a day. And that was brutal. That was a lot of work. So, anyways, hope you guys like the presentation. I will talk to you later. And if you can, subscribe.